We're going to spend a minute here to talk about the keepsakes. And we're going to kind of like, I guess we're going to pass judgment on them and we're going to try to predict, do we think these keepsakes will be good or not, basically? Like, how usable are they going to be? I guess I'll throw a letter on them or something like that. Yeah, these are all placeholder art, so that's not even part of it. Silver Wheel, this is from Hecate. After you use magic, restore it over 3 seconds. This is already rank 3 for us. Most of them are not. Up to a total of 2,000 magic this night. A night is a run, basically. So, basically, you can use a keepsake to restore your magic instead of going for boons, potentially. This sort of fills the slot of a boon that you'd normally have to pick up in a run, but it also might run out. I don't know if you'd want to use this at the start of a run, right? Or maybe you would. That way you can wait on getting a magic restoration boon. I think it's a pretty solid, what's the term of the general boon, I guess you could say, that fits with like literally every build or something like that. Why 2,000 cap? I don't know. I think it started at 1,000. I guess because they don't want you to totally abuse it too much. They want it to be utility that maybe that you have to swap it later on or something. I think it's pretty good. I think it'll be pretty good. I think it'll see some use, right? I'm not going to actually show a tier list or anything, but I guess I'll throw a letter on them. What do you think? I think it's A. I'll give it an A, I think. I think it's an interesting one, too. And it could be helpful, you know what I mean? I think it's pretty good. Seems pretty good. Yeah, I think so, too. Knuckle Bones. The next Guardian loses 5% health. You take 15% less damage from Guardians. Guardians are bosses. So minus 5% health on the boss. It says only the next Guardian. So you would put it on for one biome and then you'd swap it off, right? Basically. It's a decent one for the last biome, probably, whatever it's going to be. Guardian, it says mighty foes identifiable by lengthy life bars with their names on them. So it means like the boss, basically, as far as we understand. Because the mini bosses don't have big health bars. Unless there's going to be... Like, did the Minotaur mini boss have a health bar in Elysium? Yeah, he did, right? So I guess it's possible it could affect a mini boss. Yeah, this is also only rank 1, keep in mind. Strange wording. Yeah, I was saying earlier that I should probably say the next Guardian has negative 5% less health. Sounds like a double negative a bit. I think it's... Do I think it'll get used a lot? Based on the other keepsakes we've seen, I think it'll be pretty middle of the road. I think it'll be middle of the road. I think it'll see some use. I can't really tell if it's going to be the keepsake to put on for like the final biome, because usually there's like one keepsake, maybe 2, that's like chef's kiss for the final biome or something like that. I'm gonna throw a B on it personally. The closest thing in the original game, nothing really. Seems niche for speedrunning. Well, I think the minus damage is still pretty good. It's actually quite a bit. I think it's okay. I'm gonna give it a B. It's already got a B. There you go. The Luckier Tooth. After you fall to 0 health, automatically restore 51 health once this night from Schelemeus chat. Not Skelly. It is the Luckier Tooth. Therefore, it has 1 more health than in the original game of the Lucky Tooth. Okay? So assumably this ranks up and it goes to 76 and then 101 health or something like that. So it's a fine defensive one. It's actually not clear, will the Lucky Tooth Death Defiance go behind your other Defiance, like in Hades 1, or will it be at the front? If it's at the front, it actually gets a little more use. I think. It gets a little bit better. Because then you can use it up in like the 3rd biome, and then chuck it, if that happens. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's like an extra Death Defiance. If it goes to the front, it's better than in Hades 1. So, I mean, this one's pretty straightforward, just because, like, the Lucky Tooth, I feel like I used it fairly frequently. I saw a lot of other people using it fairly frequently. So it must be pretty good. I think it's A. It doesn't... I don't know if S is really the one for it, though. I think I can call it A and hope that we get even cooler things after this, though. Next, Ghost Onion. This is a new one. Whenever you exit a location, aka a chamber, fully restore your health up to a total of 50 health this night. I don't think this is going to be a good one. Because the game has a good amount of ways to restore health already. Not dissimilar to Hades 1. Like, you get a couple health in between each chamber. You have the shops where you can potentially buy health. There's a hex that restores health too if you find it. I don't know. I guess if maybe you're moving into a new biome and you're very low on health, I still don't think I'd take it, honestly. I'm not a big fan of it, I'd say. I don't think it'll see a lot of use. Maybe in some ways it's a more consistent feather duster or something from Hades 1. The maximum is just very low. I don't know what it ranks up into. Maybe it'll go to 100 and then 150. And maybe at 150, that's quite a bit of health, right? There's also some other boons out there that will restore your health if you keep it above like a certain percentage too. There's that too. So I kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to see a lot of use. Good for learning the game. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these are probably good for just trying to get a little bit further when learning the game. So maybe that has a little bit behind it. I'm going to give it, you know, I'm just going to come out, you know, you got to make these wide swinging predictions. Otherwise it's just kind of boring. So therefore I'm going to say F tier. F tier for Ghost Onion, Rip Dora. Evil Eye. Deal plus 20% damage to the last foe that vanquished you. It is currently Hecate. So, I think someone said it. Rank 3 is plus 40% damage. It's a weird one, right? It is weird to have it be set to the last enemy that vanquished you. So you'd want it set to a boss, I think, right? I guess so let's say you're still learning the game, you're still trying to get your first win. You died to the final boss because you've never beaten them before, and now you get this damaging keepsake for it. And let's say it's at 30 or 40%, right? Would you want to put it on for the final biome for 30 or 40% more damage to the final boss? It's kind of hard to say. That kind of sounds like a lot. It kind of sounds like a lot, but it only affects literally one enemy, right? And then you have to not put on a defensive keepsake. So how much is the damage worth the defensive keepsake? This is one that I think people might overvalue if I were to guess. Maybe I'm going to be wrong about it, though. I don't actually consider this a speedrun keepsake at all, either. It might see use for the final biome, if anything. I can foresee it seeing use in the final biome, but outside of that, I don't think we're going to use it. You can put it on a super common enemy. Yeah, it's very, very hard for us to measure what a super common enemy is going to be right now. We just don't know. We're not sure. I think I also just have a problem, like, setting up the keepsake in a purposeful manner for either trying to do a speed run or some kind of challenge run just sounds annoying. So there's a part of me that I just don't like the design aspect where you might have to play around setting up Evil Eye for a particular challenge. And it's like, that's so annoying, right? So I think that's part of the reason why I don't love it. I'm going to say C. I'm going to say C on this one. What do you think? Engraved Pin. After you fall to 0 health, become impervious for 10 seconds. If no foes remain, restore 30 health. So when you rank this up, it's the restoration that's going to go up in value. Right? So this is kind of a weird one, and we actually tried it out. And what happened was, if you lose your Death Defiance, you do become impervious for 10 seconds. And then it activates this keepsake, and you go... It activates this keepsake. And for some reason, you go back to like 30 health briefly. But then if you fail to kill all the enemies in the 10 seconds, you go down to like 20 health. It was a bit confusing. So you can stop yourself from losing a Death Defiance is one way to look at it. You could potentially lose the Death Defiance every single chamber. You can fall to 0, but if you manage to clear all the enemies in the next 10 seconds, it'll prevent losing it. It's kind of a, yeah, it's kind of a weird timed stubborn defiance in a sense. The fact that it's reusable every chamber sounds pretty good, but it sounds like it's also going to be very hard to use. My prediction for this one, I think it'll see use in weird challenge runs, but this one's kind of iffy. I don't think it'll see use outside of that, though. Especially in the casual player base, I don't think you'd want to use it casually ever, pretty much. So I think it has like a small place in like challenge runs, but that's about it. So what rank do you give something that is so niche? I don't even know. Does the time increase? No, it's just the health restoration. If the time went up, it'd be nice. I guess I'll give it a D. Because at least it has a use, I feel. I feel like it has a use. But not super commonly. So it might be like a high, very high difficulty run, basically. Like very high heat or something like that. Next. Gold purse. Gain 100 gold once this night. So as soon as you put it on. It's called gold crowns now, chat. It's not called obols. Get used to it. I mean, what's there to say, right? Assuming it goes to from 150 to 200, just like Hypnos's coin purse, right? It's fine. I think it'll see some use. Everything, all the costs are the same as Hades 1. So palms cost 100, boons cost 150. So I think it'll see like a quite a bit of regular use, and it looks like there's more reason to keep swapping between keepsakes. It feels a little bit. I don't know. You swap the keepsakes pretty often in Hades 1, though. I'll say, unless you like really loved Mom Pom or something like that, right? Yeah, it's just a B. It's B. It's good but boring. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely lower than B in terms of excitement, but I think in terms of straight up use, I think it's just a B. You know. White Antler. This one's from Artemis. While you have no more than 30 health, you have plus 20% chance to deal critical damage. Critical damage is ×3, chat, by the way. In Hades and Hades 2. Ah, that is interesting. 20% is a lot. And that's what goes up if you rank it up. So it probably goes to like 25 then 30%, if I were to guess. The health limit does not go any further though. So it sounds good, but I predict it's not going to see much use. Because how much did people use Skull Earring in Hades 1? Right? I think the crit might be better, but only maybe. There's also the fact that Artemis boons are a bit different now, and crit might not be as reliable. Like, the original Hunter's Mark is not there, it seems. Crit is more rare, which might... Would that help this? I don't know. I'm not even sure. We don't have a lot of max health here in the tech test, so being under 30 health is actually pretty easy during the tech test. But do you really want to play around that? I don't know. Speedrun trinket? I think there's always going to be the issue that speedrun trinkets, keepsakes, are going to be... Like, most of the time you're going to be wearing the god keepsakes, except for the last biome or two, basically. I think because Skull Earring didn't see a ton of use in Hades 1, I have to put this kind of low, because I can't imagine, like... I guess the interesting is... In fact, Skull Earring was probably better, right? Because Skull Earring was based on a percentage of your HP, instead of a flat amount. It's 20, 30, 40. Oh, wow. I mean, 40% is a lot. 40% is a lot, then. How hard do enemies hit? The average Hecate hit is like 11 damage, weirdly. Just like kind of a random one. Random number. I can't decide on this one, to be honest. I'm kind of torn. Is this going to be like the DPS trinket? That's the question here. I still don't think it will be. I don't think it will be. Because I don't think players like playing with low health. I don't, right? I'm giving it a D. I'm not going to say zero use, but I'm going to say we're not going to really use it much. I'm giving it D, chat. Moonbeam. You gain +1 upgrades for your hex from the next path of stars you find. So we don't know the definition of Path of Stars, really. Well, actually, the game defines it here, but we don't understand what a Path of Stars is still. It does say what... It does mention Path of Stars here. Grants your choice of 3 interconnected upgrades for your hex this night. We just don't know. I can see myself being someone that doesn't make a great use of the hex spoons, unfortunately. Based on what we've seen in the tech test, it feels like I just can't really tell, are they really going to go anywhere? I'm just not that super impressed by any of them yet. Maybe if you upgrade them a bunch, like they're describing here, it could be interesting. I don't even know where you find Path of Stars, when that's going to happen, or anything like that. So I guess, you know what? Just for the sake of fun, I'm just going to throw out, this baby's going to be S. Boom. S tier. We're going to use it every single run. Everyone's going to use it all the time. It could be the case. Maybe you put it, it's one of those things you put on super often for like the second biome. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe. So the rest are the god boons of, the god keepsakes, and they all do the same thing. Oh wait, no, there's one more after that. So you got Zeus, you got Poseidon, Demeter, Apollo, Aphrodite, Hephaestus, and Hestia. So in case you don't know, a boon of Aphrodite is likely. What they mean is it's guaranteed. I don't know why they say likely. Maybe because sometimes Selene will override it and you'll get a hex boon first. That's probably why they changed the verbiage, actually, now that I think about it. What do you think, chat? You can rarefy her epic blessings once this night. That basically means that you can, when you pick up an Aphrodite boon, you can choose one boon to upgrade the rarity up. Once it's rank 3 like this, it can be any rarity, common, rare, or epic. So you can turn an epic boon into heroic. So it's the same for all the gods here, but it starts out as common and then gets upgraded to rare and then epic later on. From what we've seen so far, I would guess that all of the god keepsakes are going to see heavy use, just like in Hades 1. I think they're going to see heavy use, and they're basically all going to be S tier, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm going to admit, I kind of hoped that the game would be structured in such a way that either we don't need to utilize keepsakes to guarantee certain gods, or maybe the runs are quite different in a way that you don't get to control the RNG as much, but things still turn out pretty good somehow. It's all very vague, I'm gonna admit. That didn't happen, and we basically just got the god keepsakes back. This is probably best for the entire player base and community, though, because the god keepsakes are what allows you to experiment with things in the game, right, chat? This is, in Hades 1, this is what allowed you to look up a broken build and then try to replicate it. Rarefy once per god keepsake, or is it just one rarefy per run? You can rarefy her epic blessings once this night. It sounds like it's once per keepsake, I would imagine. So if you put one on in the first biome and then put a different one on in the second biome, I would imagine you could do it again with a second keepsake, right? I think so. Last one, chat. What do we got? Silken Sash. Gain plus 20 armor. While you have at least 1 armor, gain plus 2 armor after each location. This is interesting. So you get outfits from Arachne right now. That's what we've seen so far, right? And they are active for as long as you keep the armor that you also got from Arachne. So this keepsake could allow you to try to make those outfits last longer. As soon as you lose the armor, it's gone, right, chat? So this could help with that. You get plus 20 right away, then plus 2 for each location. It's the plus 2 that gets upgraded here. Not certain what it goes to. Plus 3 and then plus 4. Maybe even more than that. Maybe plus 4 or plus 6. If it goes to plus 4 plus 6, I think it's going to be very strong. If it's 3 and then 4 at the max, I still think it's actually going to be pretty good. I think this is going to be pretty good. I think it's going to see some use. The thing is, I don't think you'd bother using it if you don't hold a keepsake from like the first biome into the second. Or maybe if you can get outfits future on. Basically, you'd have to beat a boss while still having some of your armor and holding a keepsake. If you can't do that, or if you don't do that, then I guess you wouldn't put it on, right, chat? Because I don't think the armor's worth it unless it's to maintain the outfit, personally. Does it guarantee an Iraq encounter? No way. But there might be multiple encounters where you get outfits and stuff. It might not just be Arachne. I suspect it's going to be more than one. And you could potentially stack multiple outfits at some point, right, chat? It's kind of tough to say because I get the feeling it's good, but it might actually not be. It's good, but only under very specific circumstances, perhaps, that doesn't happen as often as I suspect it's going to happen. Like, it might... Like, how often are you actually exiting a boss fight with armor still on you? Oh, I don't know. Screw it, I'm putting in an S anyway. It sounds good. I think it sounds good. The problem is it becomes useless if you drop all your armor halfway through a biome, right? You had that plus 20 armor, I guess. But that's going to be it, unfortunately. I guess that could be a problem. And I guess my answer to that is get good. You know what I'm saying? All right, that's it for the Hades 2 keepsakes. We reviewed them all.